Levin, president of Trading Advantage. He's in Chicago. He joins us right now. Been a funny couple of days, funny year, quite frankly. What are you looking for these last 2 days, Larry, given we're modestly in plus territory on the S&P 500?
Yeah, I think regardless of what the price was from the end of 2014, I think we'll end up above that price, Francis. I think we'll see very much what we saw yesterday. And what we see a lot of times when we get these holiday markets is low volume rallies. I think we'll see that continue, and I think we'll see, like I said, us finishing just slightly higher for 2015.
And probably more important, what do you see for 2016?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about 2016 and only about interest rates. And we've talked about the Fed for the longest time, but finally it's in play, which is a good thing for traders. A lot of your viewers out there who are active investors and like to see the markets bounce back and forth, certainly like the guys behind me do. So when we get interest rate raises and we get talks about interest rate raises, I think we'll see markets see slight corrections. And that's going to be a good thing. That'll give people opportunities to get in. There are a lot of equities that are worth buying in 2016. I'm a big fan of tech. And with that being said, I think 2016 is really about interest rate and finding the right places to buy things.
I'm having a little bit of difficulty right now getting a sense of sentiment. So I see a lot of recession talk. I see a lot of discussion about it's going to be another challenging year. You just mentioned volatility. But I get a sense that people, notwithstanding their worry, that the overall sentiment is bullish. Is that kind of a good way of assessing what people are thinking right now?
Well, I do think that the sentiment is a little bit mixed, to be honest with you. I think people are a little bit confused on what they think is going to happen in 2016, and I think that's really what gives you kind of a mixed market. I think, and also if everybody's one way, in all honesty, you probably want to go the other way. I see that happen quite a bit. When everybody goes one way, unfortunately, that's usually probably not the right way. So I think the mixed thing is a good thing for traders, for a lot of your viewers out there who, again, are active investors and want to see the markets bounce back and forth. I think we'll get that in 2016. You just got to pick your spots.
The spots to have picked in 2015 were some big tech names. You just mentioned tech, but Amazon, big winner, Facebook, Netflix. I guess you can kind of put that in the technology camp, although it doesn't sit there specifically. Are those going to be the kind of winners again for 2016?
Yeah, I think tech will be really interesting to watch. I think one of the biggest things you'll get from a company like Facebook is their Oculus. If anybody out there, and most people haven't, tried virtual reality, which I actually have virtual reality goggles, it's one of the coolest things you've ever seen. You're probably never going to want to play video games on a TV screen once you've done that, and I think that's really going to be an explosion in a whole bunch of different companies. Sony, Microsoft, obviously Facebook will all be bringing out virtual reality, and I think that'll be a real big deal and a real game changer for the way people play video games and even the way people watch movies. The Netflix app on virtual reality is super cool as well.
Larry, I know you're a cool guy, but so you're a gamer?
I like games. I'm a big fan. I was a lot more when I was younger. Not before I was, started running a big company, had a lot more responsibility. But I like to try the new things. I'm not going to go to CES this year, but I like going to those type of things, and I'm a big tech guy, always have been. I know a lot more about tech than almost all the young people in my office just because I'm such a big fan.
There you go. I love to hear that. Just back to the tech thing, though, we've seen sort of some interesting laggards within the space. Apple's probably the one that people shake their head a little bit at. Cheap stock, a lot of cash. Everybody's got an iPhone. Maybe that's the problem. Where does Apple sit in your lineup?
Well, it's really kind of a, it almost has a bad situation because of its success, right? Everybody, when you're the best, when you're the champion, right, or you won every year, so to speak, everybody keeps looking to that to continue, and that makes it much more difficult. If you're a person who's a much smaller company, or in a situation where maybe not everybody's watching you, then not necessarily is all the expectations as high as they are for Apple. And Apple's, it's their expectations that really hurt them the most. Obviously, they're doing very, very well. Like you said, they've got tons of cash. They have a very good product line. People love their products. There's so many diehard Apple fans out there. But with that being said, the better you are, the more people watch you, and the more difficult it is to stay on top. And that's their biggest issue. But they really, to be honest with you, perform almost every single time as far as their products are concerned and as far as keeping their customers happy. So you've got to give them credit there. And to be honest, when I see Apple drop, I believe it's a buy.
Does it feel a little old school, though, somehow?
Apple?
Yes.
They've been around for a while. They're not new anymore either, but neither is Disney, right? So, all these companies have to keep reinventing themselves. They have to keep coming out with newer and cooler products. I think Apple's well primed to do that. The money helps, and the training that Steve Jobs gave everybody about how the product's the most important thing. Walt Disney, the man, was very much the same way. Those type of people and that type of emphasis in their companies goes a long way.
And I guess up here and where you are as well, oil is the big question mark. It was the big question mark coming into 2015. Seems that way for 2016. Where do you see it?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see it in the $20 handle. 33.20 is that low from late 2008, early 2009. I think we'll get below there. Obviously, we're rallying for a last day or so, as we talked about supply issues, but I think that's short-lived. I think we'll get below that 33.20. I don't think it'll happen this year, right? 2 days left, but I think it'll happen early next year, and then we'll get in the 20s, and then we'll talk about where we're going next. But it's been a great trade. It's been a very aggressive trade. You had to pay close attention. If you're a futures trader, you've had to put close stops in to be careful because that market can really run. But it's been exciting to watch, and I see it lower. I see it in the 20s.
And just we'll end with a discussion of volatility and the VIX because it has ebbed back again. It's not at the lowest point of the year, but it's certainly come back again. Is there another long opportunity in VIX?
I mean, if they start lowering interest rates, we start talking early in the year about interest rates, you'll see the markets drop and you'll see the VIX pick up, and those will kind of build on each other, almost snowball together. You certainly see the VIX, and today and tomorrow I think will be good examples. The VIX will continue to drop as the market goes higher on that low volume, and as volume picks up, and it's usually on the downside. It's kind of rare, although it does happen, for the markets or the VIX to pick up on the upside, but it's really on the downside. So when you see downside moves, don't be surprised to see the VIX move up, and that's where you'll want to be long at.
And I guess, Larry, because this will be the last time I speak to you, but I'll put you on the hot spot. Best trade for 2016?
I think Facebook. I think Facebook is what you can be long because, like I said, not a lot of people have tried virtual reality. They've really got their hand in it as deep as anybody, and I think that's going to be a big change. So you got to buy the highs on Facebook, but I think it'll be a worthwhile investment.
Larry Levin, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Francis. Same to you.
President of Trading Advantage. Of course, he was in Chicago.